Right, welcome to part 5 of the Defeat the Axis, Steady and Reinforce French Allies. This episode is about the winning in North Africa and West Africa, and I will use a slightly different technique in that I'm going to be quite silent during most of it because you can see what's going on and I won't only interrupt when I think there's something important to tell you. So let's... Okay. Yeah, I don't need that East Indies fleet there anymore, so that's all our territory. Right, so I'm going to put them into the Mediterranean. Has that been fairly decimated earlier? Yeah, probably need more repair. Dockyards working. Don't think there's no penalty for doing that. I don't quite know why they restrict that, but I suppose they probably have the reasons. Yeah, just making a light tank battalion. Let's put 60 tanks short. It's probably good to make the best tank division an elite. Yes, don't forget about the odd Vichy France, because although we dealt with Syria earlier, they do have these territories, Madagascar and the Comoros Islands, and they can disrupt your convoys if they take hold, and could also use it for an invasion of East Africa. Could. Haven't actually ever seen that, but it's possible. Yeah, and then just preparing over here for the Japanese, who will invade the Dutch East Indies and Malaya given half a chance. So just bringing in armies over to prepare for that. Yeah, I used the South African army to take out those territories. Okay, so yeah, let's try and deal with Italy and North Africa with the British Expeditionary Force, and just scoop up the rest of Syria. There isn't going to be anybody there. Probably should use a cavalry division rather than that one. It'll be faster, but yeah, be careful with that, because they stop making something because you don't have enough, and that's not good. Have I? Yes, all over the English channel. Just move them back. Probably should have got some more fighters earlier, but I don't think they're doing very much damage, so. Yeah, 0.1 and AA shooting them down. So, yeah, let's probably get away with that. And the French lost another light cruiser there. I'm not sure how much these are worth, but they don't cost very much, so it might be. I couldn't really see that they work that well. But obviously, you do get experience for nothing, basically, so they probably are worth it. Yeah, probably is worth putting engineers on there. Probably would put recon as well. Yeah. They're already on the medium division. It's just a bit short. Yep, there we go, recon. So that's all lovely. Yeah, make cavalry brigades because you're going to need them for suppression. Probably. Yeah, there we go. Swap that over. Otherwise, I use civilian oversight pretty much everywhere. And how are we doing? 17. Lost 2. Yeah, so again, pretty good. I did get 25 of our convoys there. And yeah, that was West, yeah, probably still up 9 submarines to 2, and that was the Warspite, Barham, yeah, which again which we did lose in the real conflict. And so generally speaking, we are winning the naval war fairly comfortably over both the Italians and the Germans. Right, some training actors done. So yeah, I don't need to fortify Malta. Could try Tizard, but it depends on largely what your opinions are, and they are poor. So don't bother doing Tizard till that gets up. I don't know quite what it would be. So that's more Italian losses. So try and make good use of the motorised. Now we've got them. So that uses 450. So there's 1,200. So you could probably get 3, but I think I only do 2. But anyway, motorised are better because they can move faster, but otherwise the stats are pretty much the same. it's probably worth going for amphibious warfare, just because you need to do some invasions of southern Italy and northern France at some point. Now you see the Germans have turned up in Vichy France there, so that makes the push a bit harder, but they don't really come in strength. It hasn't. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say it looks like it's stuck, but it hasn't. I generally try and do snorkel first, and then do the submarine, because then as soon as you get the submarine, you can put the snorkel on it, and the snorkel doesn't. It takes about the same amount of time, so it's worth doing that. Right, here is an invasion, trying to do a defence of Norway with the foreign troops, which I have to say didn't go so well, and although I got control of the Danish fleet, I don't think it could escape from the Baltic, and it didn't. That didn't go quite so well, and he's actually pretty good for the East Indies fleet, because you get some bonuses for when you're raiding. But anyway, we will see. So you've got all the planning going there, and the pushback in North Africa, that went fairly. Looks like it's going to go fairly smoothly. Yep, keep changing the motorised as you've got the equipment available. And again, a strategic invasion, just to take out these Vichy France. Islands, which say they're more annoying than anything else, given that we already have bases there, and I don't think they ever send any troops down. And yeah, we just popped the those forces that were bashing up the Italians in the Red Sea down to get supremacy. If you split them up, you can get supremacy in all these zones, because there isn't anything else down there. Given the Japanese are in the war, the Italians concentrate on the Mediterranean after you've taken out Ethiopia. And I don't think Vichy France has a navy at all, actually. Or if they do, they don't really use it. Yep, we have to remember to keep moving your air forces around. Obviously, they're not needed in the Middle East anymore. But the range is just awful for Africa. So it doesn't really work. Yes, here's the ill-fated defence of Norway. It does slow them up, but the forces you get from France, Poland, Denmark just are very weak. Yeah, keep an eye on your fuel, because so we're not using very much fuel now. And so you don't want to import too much, because you can use those civilian factories for doing something else. Part of Britain, yeah, that's still going okay. Yes, put the heavy fighters on interception and just keep moving them around, because the Germans will try moving elsewhere. Now those Italian forces all look completely out of organisation, but I don't know why. Are we going to attack once they've... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we should just attack based on our strategic command. So a couple more divisions. I mean, they probably would have been helpful up there because the front is quite big. But Norway isn't really a priority. It's nice if you can hold it, I suppose. And in some other scenarios, probably is important to try and keep Norway if you can, if you've got more spare troops. I mean, I suppose they do have 560,000, so we could have trained up some more troops and then defended Norway a bit more vigorously, but given the naval situation, which was the main concern, it doesn't really make much odds, given you're winning that and the naval battles generally anyway. So see, we're just pushing through Africa on an encirclement. How much did we get in there? So 3 divisions gone in there. So if you can get encirclements, that's all good. So we had a Norwegian division down there, which probably would have been much better served if it had stayed in Norway. Yeah, the front, given the German forces, the front in Norway was just too long for the amount of forces that I put in there, so either more or don't bother. So that's Egypt retaken, but you've got to keep your supply lines up. So remember to boost those, and also remember to move your aircraft. Which, do I remember to do that? It does look like I do, but they don't have the range. There's almost no point until we capture an airfield. Yeah, the submarine 3 is definitely worth trying to get early. But having said that, Italy, yeah, you don't tend to, cause don't really have that much success. You need them more for later when you're with Japan rather than the French and the Germans. But French and Germans, Italians and Germans. Yeah, and it's always worth going for your artillery upgrades. Oh yes, there's some French Vichy gone, and yeah, look, we're in severe danger of being pocketed there. It's probably better if you're light, just to sit on the coast. That was just an insurance policy, I think, putting some troops into Cyprus. I think we had naval supremacy in the Eastern Mediterranean anyway, so the chances of an invasion are pretty slim. But given otherwise they're sitting around doing nothing. 13 destroyers. Alright, we're already starting to mash the Italian navy now and pushing back into Libya, and then are using these North African Army defensive units just to secure the ports again, just in case the Italian navy does get naval supremacy and try to naval invade behind your lines. That will basically hold them up enough. Okay, so we've got green all over the UK. We've got green in West Africa as well, which is good. The front line doesn't seem to have moved very much there. Upgrade Spitfire. Yeah, I try and keep my reliability up. Though meta is just to do engines and not worry about weapons, but each to their own. Yeah, you can see they don't really have very much in the way of forces, and they're all out of supply. So you should really just keep rolling them back, but I don't know why the AI doesn't push on more than it does. I mean, it's pushing on up here quite nicely without any manual intervention. Some Spanish expeditionaries there as well. But we don't really have, I mean, they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisions, and we've got 24, so really shouldn't be any problem just pushing them back. Though I'd probably like to have more motorized. Yeah, say 1.1, 1.4 damage we were doing on the aeroplane with our Air Force there. Slowly moving them back. Yeah, not sure getting heavy fighters is at this stage is probably worthwhile, really. Probably getting the Typhoon earlier for the upcoming battles in Europe. Mainland is probably more useful. worry too much about damage, really. There's not much you can do about it. And still seem to be doing pretty well on the Navy front. Lots of Italian submarines gone, and lots of destroyers. Right, oh. Right, yes, forgot about these naval invasions, but this says they're ready now. So hopefully they will go off. And we got Croatia still pushing ahead here in North Africa. Not much in the way of encirclements though. Did I remember to move my planes? I wonder. Possibly not, given the fact that the push has stopped, and they've got a lot more troops there now, haven't they? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And probably our supply, our supply is looking a bit dodgy as well. So, yes, I do have the planes there, but the coverage is not so good. And they have brought in some others. So, right, again using these divisions just to hold the ports. Right, Monty's got some other bits, so we can both organisation first and charismatic are worthwhile. It's a guerrilla fighter, but waiting for the other one, I think. And Alan Brooke, so we give him charismatic as well, and yes, can't do that. Right, Cunningham. We don't have any mine layers, so that's a waste. I don't need that. So go for concealment. Yeah. I don't know whether I did increase the infrastructure there. I think this is an attempt to encircle. Bugger all coming from Yugoslavia there. Yeah, preparing for Japan. I've got loads and loads of divisions, but I don't quite know why they aren't attacking. Nope. Where'd he go? Yeah, that was that one. You are going still. Slowly. Right, so Madagascar, nobody there. So just run down and take it all back. And that's just about to take, yeah, Reunion, I think that is. But that still leaves the Comoros. But there's nothing major going on there, though. We shall see. Oh, yes, and then there's Kerguelen. Absolutely no importance whatsoever. But just for the sake of completeness, I decided to naval invade them there. Right, so that's still pushing them back. They seem to have lost some divisions again. They've only got 8 now. And that's yes, that's the dregs of our ill-fated Norway campaign. I suppose again, a bit like what happened in reality. July 1940. Yes, that's a bit later than historically, but with pretty much the same result, even though I put in more men than we did historically. Yes. Well, they've all come back again. I've only got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 now. So they've got more troops. I don't know why they're yo-yoing. There's 11 convoys sunk there. But not that much damage. Some damage. Okay, and Norway capitulates. Yeah, making a little bit of heavy weather there, but there's quite a few. I can see quite a few divisions there that are out of supply. So I suspect it's supply problems rather than forces problems. Now, some commentators say that you should just rush artillery, but I don't think I did. Yes, landing craft is important because we're going to need that later. And yeah, these naval doctrines are probably worthwhile, but again for later when you're dealing with the Japanese. Yeah, so that worked because let's say there's nobody there. So, but there's no point in leaving our South African divisions sitting around. Has he actually invaded yet? Yep, there we go. Yep, so that's now free French. So that's probably the first and last time you'll ever see that on a video. So that's taken over all of those. Yeah, it's always worthwhile for plus 5% soft attack. That also gives you 5% defense, so we don't really need that at the moment. so we have the new submarine. Yeah, let's do it properly, shall we? So we want the best engine, and we want the best torpedo tubes, and we want the snorkel. Because it reduces the visibility, which means it's harder to detect. At some point you probably would like to put radar on there as well, because then it's easier for you to detect surface ships and therefore then destroy them, but not while they're still reasonably strong in detecting you. So that changes when you're on top. Then refit them. Yeah, because Africa doesn't have much in the way of factories, it doesn't really, as you gain territory, you don't really gain very much more in the way of production. Did I forget to start those strategic, which is probably why that West Africa is taking so slow? Don't do that. Start that earlier. Yeah, okay, that's why. Yeah, I don't know what do I do with put him into home. Oh yeah, with that. Not quite sure who that was also in there. Yes, the supply is a problem. Obviously, I did do supply for the other bits of North Africa, but not for that bit yet. And that rather slows you down. Top tip for something that I didn't do, and that's naval invade behind them. I think I do it later, but it's given we already had naval supremacy in the central Mediterranean, then that probably would have been a better strategy. But otherwise, yes, try and get your infrastructure done as you go to keep your supply up, because otherwise you get those nasty little red things where you just end up banging your head against the brick wall, which is not good. You just waste men and equipment. Right, so that's Madagascar retaken. So I would strategically move those rather than not. Where's he off to? Never mind. Ah, my first tank brigade. A bit late, but there we are. Oh, tell a lie, second one, but it's the first of the new batch. Yeah, well, we were sort of winning there. Sort of not winning here. But again, let's put that down to supply. Yeah, I assigned those planes to that army, but the AI is not particularly efficient at keeping them up, and we are rather behind. Yes. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? We've got 50 fighters against 1,221, and yet we've shot down 2. And we have also bombed their troops more than they've bombed ours. No, that's not true. 7.7 against 64.7. So that's not good. Yeah, we need some support there, don't we? How are we doing here? Okay, so they're not attacking anymore. So let's... Did we move anything? We're certainly winning. That one says fighters lost 47, they're 10 to 59. So we're definitely winning it, even if they do have more planes in theatre. Yep, except the United States asking to move troops. That is handy a bit later on. Right, so their opinion of us is now 100, so on that basis we can try Tizard. Still not going very well there, lots of red. But then I think those colonial troops are not the best. But equally the troops are up against are not the best either, so... Yeah, so that's the first medium tank division. We've dropped those in, you just move one of them out into the North African just to keep it at 24. Could have just left him where he was really, but okay, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one.